extra, read all about it. We're going to do a newsletter. I'm bringing the news. And to do the newsletter, I'm going to start up Pages. So if I find my icon on the dock, I click right on Pages. And if I don't have Pages on my dock, I'm going to scroll down here to the Finder window instead. So I click on the Happy Mac symbol in the lower left-hand side, and I go to Applications, and then I might have to scroll up and down to find Pages. It should be alphabetical order. Open it up. So, as you can see, when the project or my template opens up, it is untitled, which means I have not saved it. So the first thing I need to do is save. I could do Command S or click the File Save. Window opens. I could simply put my name on it. So you're just going to put your last name on it, and then maybe even your first name, and label it Pages. Now it's going to go to the Documents folder that is on the computer. And as it stands right now, it will save to your computer, and then if you log back into the same computer tomorrow, it will automatically be in your Documents folder. And if you ever get shut out of this project again, you could get right back to your document by going to the Finder, just like we did before, and then looking for your documents. If I click on Documents, there's the project because I saved it to the Documents. So it's Finder and then Documents, and there it is. And it's sometimes even in the Recents item right here. Your project with your endangered species on it will look just like the template when you're done, so that the artist that created this template will know that it's their work, right? So here you'll put endangered species, here you'll maybe put the countries that this animal can be found in, here you'll have information like the diet or something like this, and you'll have pictures of your animal where there's photographs here. Down here, this is a piece of clip art, you'll have a piece of clip art here. You'll have text in this area, in this font, in this size. You'll find another piece, another subtitle, subheading, whatever from your website, and you enter in here so that you'll see that there's a difference between this section up here and the section below. So you'll have photos here, here, all that stuff. The number one key is don't delete. You don't want to delete things because then it's going to take away the formatting, and you want your formatting to remain just like the template. So let's get this party started. Let's go in here and look for endangered species that we're going to do our document on. So I have two different websites with endangered species on it. You could do either one. Click on it, and even if you needed more resources to fill in the second page, like there's not enough resources here, you could use your own resources. You could go on other websites and find more information about your animal. So I use the hyperlink here of Defenders of Wildlife. You could go through and look at the different animals, scroll up and down, seeing which ones or which animal that you would like to do your endangered species on. Choose any one you like. So I'm going to hit the drop down up here, find an animal that I would like to do my endangered species newsletter on. So I will just click on bats, and then I'll scroll down, look at the information, and kind of get an idea of what information I'm going to be using on my newsletter, like you see here. Okay, so the first thing I could do is start to look for images. So I've choose the bat, and now I'm going to search for images. And the easiest way to do this, obviously, is the Google image search. So I click on images. Click on bats, and there they are. And I could also refine my search by using one of these headings up here, but really I'm just going to find a bat image that would fit into this area very nicely. So let's say this one here. So I click on the thumbnail over here because trying to download this image is not going to work very well for me. It's usually pixelated. So I'm going to try to get the largest image possible, and I can see that this image is 1200 by 500. That's a very well-defined image here. So I'm going to copy this image from Google Images. So I use the control button and then I click. So I hold down the control and I click to bring up this menu. You can also right click if you have a right click mouse that has been set up properly. You could do a right click or control. Hold down control on the keyboard and press the letter and then click on the image. Then I can bring up this menu and say copy image. Now I come back over to my Pages document. I click where I want the image to go. So I have the handles around the picture right here, and then I can paste it in. Command V for victory to paste it in. It says it's pasting, or I can use the edit menu in the menu bar. Now this is not centered, right? So how do I center it? I'm going to double click on the image, and then I can just grab and center it. And as you can see, these are the parts that are actually going to show, and this part out here is not going to show because I'm using the mask that was involved. I didn't delete this image, I just paste it right over top of it. So now I'm going to go search the rest of my document for other pictures that I might need to put in to my newsletter. If at any time I make a mistake on this and I need to undo something, I can use the Command Z for zebra and I can undo. So if I accidentally deleted this and then I pasted my bat in and now it's not the right size and I can't figure it out, I can't get it right, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. I just keep going Command Z until I get back to where I need to be, and then I make sure that I was following instructions. Command V to drop it in and center it. Okay, so that Command Z is your best friend. So if you've ever deleted anything that you didn't want to delete or it doesn't look right and you got to get back to where you started from, you can use the Command Z button. So again, finding my image, clicking on the image, right clicking or control click, copy image, bringing it over to my Pages document and dropping it into the area by clicking on the image, getting the handles up around, and then pasting in Command V or edit paste. Then I can recenter and I got it locked in. One more to go, but you might not have this image down here. Maybe you only have 2 photos. You're just using the 2 photos that are in your template. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you may have pieces of clip art inside your template. So if you have a piece of clip art that's obviously not a photograph, then you want to change up and put a piece of clip art in there. So I'm going to do my image search, and I could just add in clip art and find a piece of clip art that might fit in there. And in this case, it's kind of a banner. They call these banners that go across, so maybe even adding the word banner to this might make things easier. So right here, this kind of looks like the same width right here. So I'm going to click on this image. I'm going to copy and paste this in. Copy image, again, control click, paste it in, and it's popped in. Now look, it's all messed up here. It doesn't come in because it's not a drop zone like this one was right here. It doesn't come in right where I want it to. So I may have to do some resizing. So I could resize it to be the exact same size as the pencils here. I delete that. I bring my bats over. And you can see the words are floating around the bats because there's no white background behind it. And I don't want that to happen. So I could go over here to arrange, and I can say not automatic, but go above and below. So watch what happens over here when I go above and below, and you could test out to see what looks best on yours, you know, which one of these. But again, this is clicking on the image, going to arrange, and then going above and below. Sometimes these have white backgrounds around them, or they get other things, and I could still use this. So if I go to right click, copy image, come back over to my Pages, and I paste it in, you see it's all big and it has that white background around it. So here's how to get rid of the white background. There's something inside of most Apple products that are called Instant Alpha. So if I click on my object and I go over here to image, I could use the Instant Alpha and then select and drag open. See how it says 10, 12, 19%, right? I could drag it open until it highlights all that white area, and then it just makes it disappear. Okay, so now I still have the words down here, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do now is double click on the image, and now I could use this mask. So I could click and drag and close up the mask so that it's only the bats above. So you could do this with any of your images, but then I could put it back into place where it goes, crunch it so that it's right where I need it. I believe it's supposed to be right there, even with the text, just like the example, right? So I could get rid of the old one I had, and now the new one goes right in where it's supposed to, even with the text on the left and the right, exactly as the pencils were in the original, right? Because I want my project to look just like the original when it's done. Now sometimes I have to create my own banner down here. So if I do, I could just get a piece of clip art and then duplicate it a couple times right across here. So if I go back over to Google Images and I find a piece of clip art that I want, I can right click or control click, say copy image, bring it into my document, paste it in, but now it doesn't fit, right? So I double click, I do the same things I was talking about before, getting rid of the white background, Instant Alpha style, boom, 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 okay? So now I could resize this piece of clip art. And you know what? It doesn't quite fit in. So what I'm going to do is I click here, get rid of my pencils, and I could just do another one by Command D for duplicate. So I have my back. So I could just do two of them like this. But again, I don't want them to extend past. I don't want them to go over here. That's not part of the, it's supposed to be even with the text. I could resize them, right, so that I created my own banner. Quickly show you a way to replace another piece of clip art here just in case by using a mask. So in the case of this template, I have a tree here that is obviously a piece of clip art. To find a piece of clip art that would fit, I can click on the piece of clip art on Google and again copy the image, bring it back to my document and paste it in. However, it doesn't fit in exactly where that tree goes, as you can see. However, if I move my piece of clip art over the top of the tree, I center it. Now I increase the size. But of course, this is screwing up my document, right? But if I just double click on the image, on the piece of clip art, I can now adjust the sides. And you see, I can see this tree right there. And I go, okay, right there is covering the tree. Bring it in over here. And again, I don't want to get it into the margin over here. I want to keep it exactly where the tree was so that all other things are exactly aligned. So you could go ahead and make sure that you have images where there's supposed to be images throughout your document. So if you are currently working on this process, go ahead and pause the video now, finish up putting your images where they belong on your template, try to match them exactly, and then move on to the next segment. Now I have all of my pictures where there's images and they're fit into the drop zones, or I have pieces of clip art where there was pieces of clip art throughout my document, and now I'm ready to make changes to the text throughout the document. Because this is an endangered species newsletter, I can change this up to say endangered species, or I could just simply put in endangered. Okay, now that fits very well in this area. Now if I wanted to do endangered species, you could see that it does not fit into the same area here. So if I grab a hold of this box, I have to click on outside and then back inside to be able to, and I could see there's the rest of my information. So to get this aligned, and no matter what process you're doing, you might have a different template where you have the words that are a little bit larger. But really what I want is just for it to look just like this, right? In the same format. So what I'm going to do is just decrease the size slightly. Now it's not going to be the exact title, but in this case it works within my document. So I can decrease the size over here until I notice that these two lines have turned into one right here. So I could just, oh, there it is, boom, 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 and then boom. Okay, so now you could see that it's one straight line, and I have my these subtitles are showing right here. But of course my text box is too large now, so I have to click on outside, click back inside to get the handles, and I can tighten up that text box again. Is the bit confusing part, I suppose, because there is no right or wrong answer. Filling in the rest of this information is up to you. But the big idea here is that it would fit into the areas that there are text already there in the template, but it would just be the information that you chose to put into that information. So there's no wrong or right answer as to what you put into these areas, as long as it is in the font size, the style, the color, and it fits one of the fonts that is already predetermined is a good fit for this project, right? So you're looking for information that you may be able to put in these areas. So maybe, for instance, I might say the countries, the areas, maybe the states that this animal can be found in, and I put them across this area here. Then maybe I use the diet from the websites, maybe like other information about the climate that this animal likes to live in these different headings here, and then fill in the paragraphs. As I see, I'm using these websites here to find information about my bats, and I could say defenders impact, threats, maybe one of those titles is a threat, but I can also use different things or different websites to find more information, okay? So I could go back and choose the secondary website and then look for bats on this website, or I could simply go to Wikipedia, okay? So you could find your own resources by Googling and go to a website and find out information about your animal, and then figure out what areas that those text boxes here would fit best. What information from the website would fit best into these spots on your template to make it look like the example. Go to my website and I look for the areas of the world that these bats are found in. I find out that they're all over the place, so that just doesn't fit. So maybe I'll just do 3 parts of the scientific classification. That would make most sense for me. So that's what I'm going to do. So I come down here and I'm going to use the bottom 3. So I'll take Command C to copy. So I just double click on the word, hit Command C to copy, and then I go back to my Pages document and I'm going to put that in the last spot here because it's the last part of the scientific name right here. So when I click here, I need to paste special. I can do Command V. Let's see if it comes in the subtitle format. And it actually came in exactly in the subtitle format the way it was supposed to. If I have any troubles with this, I might have to use the Edit menu. So for instance, I'll do this with the second one right here. So I'll click on the area that I need to replace. I'll come over to my website and I'll take the next word, double clicking, hit Command C or copy, Command C, then come over here and I'll do Edit, Paste, and Match Style. So if I do Paste and Match Style, it drops it right in. Once again, remember that I do not want to hit delete. Okay, I don't want to hit delete. in these cases here and then try to paste, it might not come in the same way. But if I do get a piece of text that is not brought in the same way, okay, I can move it around. Oh, look at that. It automatically snapped it back to the subtitle for me. Okay, but that is something that you don't want to have happen. Now you can see there's an extra dead space here, so I tighten that back up again. All right, but if you ever get something pasted in and it's not in the right format. So for instance, let's say I'm copying and pasting this information to this location right here, and it comes in the wrong format. Okay, I can highlight the information and then say, you know what, it's supposed to be in a different format, and then find the paragraph style over here. So I can simply scroll down to this area right here, find out that it's supposed to be heading 2, then go back up to this area right here and select, instead of default, I don't want any default, I'm going to go down to heading 2, and it changes it up. It puts the line underneath of it just like the one previous. And again, tightening it up so that there's no gaps or dead areas or dead space underneath of it. And again, there's an odd space right here, so if I just tighten that up, hit delete, and then put a normal space bar in there, it makes it look much more appropriate. So then I would go back and then fill in more information. So maybe just one paragraph underneath by copying, pasting, and matching style, or just pasting it in. Didn't work, right? That didn't work right. So I can come over here and say it's supposed to be the body 2. Click on body 2, and now it's just right. And again, too many spaces here, tighten that back up. So I want my text boxes to hold just the right information. So if I click on this information underneath the bat diet here, and I'm going to be using the bat diet right here, so I copy it and I bring it over and I paste and match style, or I hold down Control, Option, Shift, and the letter V for victory right there, Command, Shift up. But now there's too much. The paste special, the paste and match style was, again, Command, Option, Shift, and the letter V. So now if I have too many words in here, okay, you see it just keeps flowing over, I can put it back to where it belongs, Command Z. Command Z is my best friend here, all right? So I can go Command Z, and it will put it right back where it's supposed to be at the bottom of these lines right here. And then I can just say, you know what, everything past this period, let's delete. So I could just hit delete and get rid of all this extra information so that it fits inside my text box appropriately. Boom. And now the plus went away. Because remember, Mr. B is not grading on the words that you're using, because obviously you are copying and pasting. That is would normally be plagiarism, but I am accepting that you are just finding information, putting it into the areas that you're supposed to be putting it into, and not necessarily grading on the content, but how it fits into your template. So as long as it fits in, it makes sense. And as you can see, I'm cleaning up some other areas there by deleting the excess space that it looks very tight and clean. Now I'll go to the main body of the project and continue on throughout both pages to fill in information. And this would be another title that I want to create that puts it in a separate font. Okay, all of this stuff, this font right here in body 2, so on and so forth, going down and making my information that I'm grabbing from my websites, making it come in the format that fits well with the template. So looking at my document here, I can see that there are some bullet points here that fit in. So I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to try to do some bullet points, and I find the bullet points on this website right here. So this fits in perfectly. But instead of 3, I'm going to have 5, no big deal. I'm going to copy this right here, copy this, and paste and match style, tightening it up, like so. Then I look over here and I'm going to copy my bullet point, copy it, bring it in, put it right where the bullet point is, paste and match style. Now it took away some of the other bullet points. I don't want to hit delete, right? So I hit return and it brings another bullet point there. So now it's automatic. I can do the rest of the bullet points, or I could just do 3. Change this title to 3 facts. You know, so it really doesn't have to be exact, right? So I could also find a piece of paragraph that might fit above these 3 bats nicely. So paste and match style right there. This is a misspelled word. Pay no attention to that. That is a correctly spelled word. It's just scientific, so it's showing up as misspelled. No big deal. Forget, as I get further along, I may be running out of information to put into the different areas, or just don't like the format that it's in. So don't forget, you could go right to Wikipedia itself and search that page for more information, maybe in a different format than what you saw on the other websites, to find information about your animal. No biggie. This part right here sometimes gets confusing because as I copy and paste, okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste and match style right here, and it drops it in, and I tighten it up and make it look good, and then I copy and paste some of these paragraphs right here. But when I paste it in, as you can see, the paragraph extends to the next page. Okay, so I might have to paste and match style, tighten that up, and then I might have to paste again another paragraph down here. So I would just hit return like this, go and find another paragraph to add to it, and then copy and paste it below that one. And then paste and match style right here. So it's in there right underneath. I have an extra space here, don't want that. Then I can go and find a new topic, a new header right here, and then put that in this area right here, and then copy and paste. So go through the document, figure all that stuff out, putting in your information where it looks appropriate. Okay, so now it seems like I am finished, right? It looks pretty good. Looks like everything is in order. I'm ready to turn this in and get failed by Mr. Brzezinski because there's still some things wrong. So before you turn in anything, here's what I want you to do. I want you to open up the same template again and go side by side. So I'm going to hit Command N to start a new document, or I can go to File, the File menu, and New. And then I'm going to open up the same document that I've been working on, and I'm going to put them side by side so that I can see the similarities or differences between the two documents. Okay, so just for the sake of what I'm doing here, I'll go side by side like this. And then I can see, okay, I adjusted the size of this to go with this. That's fine, no big deal. I have words here where they're supposed to be here. I have, oh, what's this all about? Why is this not up against the gray, right? So maybe it's because this box is a little too big here, and now it's right up against the gray where it should be. Okay, look at this. I have a photo over here that's right up against the top line. Well, really, it's up against this gray box over here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to use the up arrow, bring it right up even with the top of this box right here. And then look at this gray line. What happened? I don't know what happened, but let's fix it anyway. So I'm going to pull this line straight up to the top, as you see there as well. So now I just scan down my document. The right font here, here. It looks like the same font. There's no extra space. Wait a minute. There's some extra spaces right here. So let's tighten that up. Okay, so that it looks just right. And then I just continue going down the page. Here, here. I got this. Ends just about at the same spot. Wow, that looks really good. And I even filled in words like this here, where I have some Latin words. I don't want any Latin words left over on my document. So I filled that in with Defenders of Wildlife, the name of the website. If I look down here, I see that this bat is actually in the bottom buffer, the bottom margin right here. So I do not want that. So I'm going to bring that up and put that back where it belongs. Okay, so really I'm just going through and I'm trying to get everything situated so that it looks exactly like it's supposed to, as the video showed, right? So I go down a little further. I have my picture here, good. I got my picture there. I got these words, the same as these words, good, good, good. Oh, wait a minute, what is this? Huge gap. I must have screwed something up while pasting. Tighten up that gap, make it look good. Okay, I got bullets where there's bullets. I got words over here where there's words over there. That looks great. But what about this picture here? Something's not right about this picture. If you look here, it looks like it's going over top of this gray line, but over here it fits in just nicely, right? So maybe I resize it, because maybe I increased the size somewhere along the way and didn't realize it. So let's get it to be just about the exact same size as the example. Fit it right into the middle of the two gray lines and even with the bottom, right? Maybe I could go and fit like another sentence or two from the website into my document right here like this. Copying, hit return, paste and match style. Fits in a little bit better, right? Misspelled word on Wikipedia, if you could imagine that. So, oh, wait a minute, what's this? That's a big gap there, right? So anytime you get like weird stuff like that, I just correct it. I just tighten it up, make it look good, and now my document looks just like the example here. Okay, top and bottom, looks good. Now I'm ready to turn it in. So I'm ready to turn it in, and I look up here and I make sure that it's named correctly, and if it's not named correctly, I still do the exact same thing, which is save it, because it says it's been edited, but it's not saved. So Command S to save it. I click on it, make sure the lights are lit up on my document itself, and now it's ready to go, or I can do a file save up in the menu bar. Now once it's saved, I can turn it in. So I go back to Schoology right here, and I'm using one of my finest students' accounts here. So I hit resubmit, because they've already submitted it once, but this works the exact same way. So I hit submit on my project, and I'm going to go over here, and I can click on the icon itself and drag. So I click, hold, and drag until it turns green right here, and it will upload that file. I can also do it through a Finder window. If I go to a Finder window and I go to my documents, right here is my document, right? By clicking on a Finder window, Happy Mac symbol in the lower left-hand side of my doc, then going to Documents over here, clicking, dragging until it turns green right over top, right? So I can show that again by just doing this here, resubmit assignment right here, and then submit my document. Or I could go right from my project file right here, clicking on that little icon on the top and putting it in there as well. Okay, those are two different ways to submit the assignment. Hit submit, come back here tomorrow to look for the grade as well as any comments that Mr. Brzezinski might have added to the assignment. Until next time, Brzezinski out.